if you're new. Hi, hello, my name is Kim and I go by 𝐘𝐕𝐄 on YouTube. Today I pulled some cards this morning, actually during my Arcturian live stream that a lot of you guys were there for. Thank you so much for coming in. Today's a really special day. I don't know why, it just is. Actually, I do know why. But I pulled some cards during that Arcturian live stream because we do have Pleiadian lineup coming in. It starts November 16th through the 20th. Normally it starts on the 15th, but according to starseedhotline.com, which I do very much rely on for a lot of my information, it's a great website. It's where I had one of my starseed readings done. That's up on this channel. I'll probably link it up below for this video if you guys want to check it out. But Pleiadian lineup basically is when the sun rises and sets in alignment with Taurus, which is the constellation of the Pleiades. And today's a really special day because I got my moldavite necklace in from my good friend Angie, and I went and picked it up today. And I'm gonna open this little puppy here. This is like really potent. I've been wanting moldavite for a very long time, and she got it from a reliable source, and I'm just really over the moon about it right now. So this beauty right here is moldavite. I don't know how well you can see it. It's hard to see. Do you hear the train? And the train's going off while I'm showing you guys. I mean, there you go. It's so powerful. And I'm gonna put it on today. I'm letting my energies get kind of used to it. So I'm gonna keep it out for the reading. It's gonna sit right here so you guys can see it. We'll see what little bag it comes in. But yeah, so I pulled all these cards during that Arcturian reading. So much came through for this Pleiadian lineup. I'm using 2 new decks of cards. I'm using, I don't know if you can see, no you can't, okay. I'm using the Unimaginable, and I'm using the, sorry guys, 𝐓𝐀𝐃 Experiencer. And I pulled cards from these 2 decks. And then I also pulled from Wizard Azanon Starseed Oracle. I pulled from my 2 Starseed decks from Rebecca Campbell, and then my one for my numerology. So, coffee break. We're gonna go over all these cards. I did do a mini video showing all of them, so I'll show that so you guys can get an idea of the cards, and I'll go over them and what they mean and what they represent. All of the cards for Pleiadian lineup. So starting off for Pleiadian lineup, I got this message yesterday in pulling cards for myself because I wanted the deck to get acquainted with my energies and to just see if it was acquainted yet. And acquainted even before I bought the deck, because these 2 decks were actually gifts from Nudie Crystal Collection. She is amazing. She's an amazing goddess. She does prediction readings for worldly events and all kinds of things. She also does starseed readings. I'll list her channel below and also down here. So please go check out her channel. Check her out. Follow her on Instagram too. Tell her I sent you. Tell her 𝐘𝐕𝐄𝐿 sent you. She's amazing. You guys will absolutely adore her energy. Her readings are phenomenal. She's predicted like so many things already. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see maybe like a collective reading with me, her and Indigo one day. That's just something that came through to me. Like the 3 goddesses. That'd be pretty cool. Just because I know Indy has predicted amazing things. Indigo Angel has predicted amazing things having to do with worldly events and the ley lines and the land masses, and they always add up and resonate and coincide. And I feel like Crystal Collection, she would be amazing. It'd be amazing if we like all channeled together. I feel like a lot of amazing things would come through. It's just a weird message I'm getting right now, but not weird at the same time. So she gifted me these 2 decks, and I'm gonna go ahead and just see what came through. So the first card that I got was Andromeda, and this card flew out for me last night, which I am from there. but it says you've encountered a being from Andromeda. So we got a bunch of different beings, and I'm actually going to be doing some research on some of these star systems because some of these I haven't even heard of before. So I'm actually really excited to dive in and see what we get for those. But the first card is Andromeda. So I'm feeling like at the start, probably the very beginning of Pleiadian lineup, we'll get a huge Andromedan influence. And if you guys know anything about Andromeda M31, it consists of trillions of stars, therefore trillions of beings, therefore trillions of energies, and trillions of geometrical codes and also consciousnesses from these higher dimensional realms. So that's a huge influence, and you're probably already starting to feel it now. Today is the 13th, I believe. So we'll be feeling the effects of this well after, I think, even the 20th. Like, I think it'll go maybe through till the end of November. We'll still be feeling those energies. And we did just have a huge solar flash as well, a C1 or a C7, I believe. So that contributes a lot. But yeah, these energies are really going to be very strong and potent for the beginning of this lineup that starts, like I said, November 16th. But I feel like a lot of Pleiadians and a lot of Andromedans and Arcturians are feeling it already. And even if you don't have lineages through the Pleiades, with the Pleiadian lineup, their influence, like the Pleiades really infiltrates through a lot of starseed collective consciousness. So even if you're not from there, you're going to receive a lot of upgrades and a lot of memory and a lot of downloads right at the beginning of this. Then we have Heal the Planet in the reverse. Let's see what this says. Your experience guided you to help the earth. Okay, so that is definitely one of your missions here. This was something that I doubted for a very long time. It wasn't actually until recently that I was like just so knowing of my truth and what I'm here to do, and this is a huge part of it. This is a huge part of it. So I feel like maybe a lot of starseeds are in denial of this, or maybe they don't realize it yet, or they haven't had their awakenings yet, but once they do, they'll really understand. I feel like this whole lineup is really going to kick off a lot of aha moments, a lot of realizations for starseeds, a lot of just clarity on what they're here to do, and it's really important. We have ET Sphere Guy in the reverse as well. Let's see what this says. It says you have one or more extraterrestrial guides. So you definitely have one. And because this is in the reverse as well, I feel like a lot of starseeds have made contact with theirs and they're still questioning it. It's like, was that real? Did I just imagine that? Did that really happen? It definitely really happened, and it's all here in the cards to confirm that for you. If you're watching this and you've been questioning that, it definitely did happen, and you definitely do. We have Zeta Reticuli. You've encountered a being from Zeta Reticuli. So this is one of those star systems that I don't know much about. I'm wondering if it is associated with insectoids or the insectoid race, because we do underneath here have the mantid healer. So you've had an encounter with a mantid healer, and this card is crazy to me because this was the insect that I saw, the praying mantis, which I've never seen one in person, to be honest with you, until this year. And it wasn't even that long ago. So the mantid healer. So I feel like insectoids, like ever since I was young, I've had encounters with insectoids. Never knew what they were until, you know, I was older, but now I know what they are. But I did see a praying mantis not that long ago, and then it was like, it was weird. It was like we locked eyes and exchanged codes, and then it was like 3 days after that, I got stung by that hornet. And that happened twice. So I feel like that was like a warning, or like showing me like, you're going to receive this insectoid medicine from this hornet, and I'm warning you that it's about to happen. And that's why I'm making my presence known to you. So it's really interesting. And I feel like maybe insectoids do come from Zeta Reticuli. I'm not really sure because, like I said, I've never done a lot of research through Zeta. So it's also really interesting that it appeared right below that card. And then we also have Apollonia. So you've encountered a being from Apollonia. Honestly, I don't even know where this is either. So I'm going to do research and see where this star system resides because I've never heard of it. What's so interesting here is we also have the altars card. So you may have altars, and this has a lot to do with like this goes beyond like alter personalities. This goes beyond multidimensionality. This is like, I'm talking like walk-ins, I'm talking beings that are around you that are just other dimensional forms of you. And I'm wondering if you have some walk-ins or one that came from this star system. And it's weird because I've had one walk-in this year, and I've had several soul family members that literally had walk-ins like right around the same time that I did. So it's really, really interesting. It's interesting how it says did on here too, on the altars card. Like it did happen. And we have Mintaka right below altars and this Apollonia star system. We have Mintaka in the reverse. So I feel like somehow all of this energy coincides. I think you could have also had walk-ins or altars from Mintaka as well. This is also like understanding every single fractal and every single facet of yourself. And as infinite as the universe is as infinite as your soul is. So to be able to have that almost like source perspective and comprehensionality of all the fractals that is of your soul, that is of an infinite nature, and to have that understanding in and of itself is so magical and amazing and very, very highly and inwardly conscious of you to be able to perceive that. We have Mintaka in the reverse, and this is longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. So it's interesting, like when you come to my channel, because I'm a galactic activation portal, I do activate so many star seeds, and I'm told this left and right all the time. But a lot of star seeds that come to my channel, that are drawn to my channel, a lot of them are Mintakan, a lot of them are Arcturian, and those are like the two main ones. Now I do carry Andromedan energy too. And they always say like Andromedans always recognize one another, and it's true. Like if you meet an Andromedan, you will know right away, because your souls will just mesh together like this. If you come across someone that isn't like of that origination, you probably won't get along with them that well. Like you could still get along with them, but it won't mesh as well as when they're 100% like, as when they're from this star system. So Mintakans are really drawn here to my channel. So if you're here, you've probably been talking. Another thing here is, this is a lot of like longing for home and wanting to belong in the world. But it's also rising above that notion of feeling like you have to belong, because you already know that you do. Like you already have the understanding that like you wouldn't be here unless you were meant to be here. So whether you belong or not, or whether you're perceived correctly or not, or whether you're accepted or not, it doesn't even matter anymore, because you're like, your consciousness has like blown like way above that, to the point where like you're like, I know I'm meant to be here. I know that I belong. It's overcoming that needing to be accepted, basically. Like you're at that point where you're just like, yeah, I know what I am. Like I know my truth, and therefore I don't have to fit in. Therefore I don't have to belong, because I already belong. You know, you don't have to have that validation from other people, basically, is what I'm saying. Like you already have the validation within inside of yourself. So therefore you're like, I'm good. This could also be like longing for home as well. So during these lineups, it's really interesting, because you would think that because in the Pleiadian lineup, you would think because all these Pleiadian beings are visiting here on Earth during those 3 days, the most potent days are the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th, because that's when it's, I believe, the 25th, the 26th, and the 27th degree markers of the sun aligning with Taurus. But also, you would think that because they're visiting here, that you wouldn't have this longing to like go back home, but it's almost like you see them and you witness them, and then it like makes you miss them that much more, if that makes sense. So I do feel like a lot of you missing your home, and a lot of you Mintakans, I mean, this is like a natural occurrence to have the longing for home, because if you're from Mintaka, that means you were from Artuvia, which doesn't exist anymore. So of course where you're residing now is not going to feel like home. And of course you're going to have homesickness because Arctuvia doesn't even exist anymore. Like your home isn't there. It's like when you grew up in a house with your parents and then like maybe like 20 years later they bulldoze down your house. And you know, you go and you drive by and you're reminiscing like, oh, my house, like I miss it so much. I wish it was still there. Like I wish I could go back and access it. It's the same kind of feeling. So Mintakans, this feeling is 100% normal. We get this all the time. So, but I do feel like you overcoming this towards the end of Pleiadian lineup, but I feel like this will be brought up again. The sadness, like the longing for home, those feelings will be brought up again during the lineup. Now it's interesting here because we also have the family connection card on its side with the Orion. So it's really interesting because so many soul family members from Orion have been getting in contact with one another. You know, you may have noticed this even like before the start of November. Like I'm feeling like towards the middle of October, maybe even before that. But definitely the month of October, I feel like a lot of you coming into contact with your soul family. It's just a knowing, it's a recognition. And a lot of these beings have like a hybridization from Orion. So they have DNA from Orion. They have, you know, lifetimes from Orion. So you may have the Orion. The Mintakan is also the Orion. Mintaka is in Orion's belt. It's the one furthest to the right of the 3 stars, of the pearls of peace. So because you're Orion, you hold this strong lineage of that. I feel like you're just drawing in almost like a magnet all your soul family members by like putting yourself out there. And it's almost like your soul call, like your family call, and you put yourself out there and then like all your soul family are drawn to you. And they're just naturally drawn to you. Even if you haven't put yourself out there, I feel like just the energies, they're just magnetized together. And so this is a huge connection here. This is a huge connection. It's also saying here that ET experiences run in your family. So it isn't just you, obviously. It hasn't just been you that has experienced this. Like, I guarantee other members of your family have had ultra-terrestrial experiences, extraterrestrial experiences, witnessing UFOs, witnessing higher dimensional beings when they were children or throughout their lifetimes, and not knowing what it is, and therefore maybe not always talking about it. So you may have not heard about it. Like for me at least, like my mom has told me several stories. One of the biggest ones is having to do with the orange UFO that she saw above her church when she was with her mom and her brothers and sisters, and it just like zipped off like super fast, and it was orange, which coincides with the experience that I had. So it's really interesting. But I also know like other things that have happened within my family. So even if your family members, like even if they do talk about it or they don't talk about it, it's just reconfirming that like you're not the only one that has gone through these things. And so it's giving you that comfort in knowing that you're not alone in that, because it's happened to your family members as well. And this is also about that soul family coming together. This is a seal of harmonic order. Right underneath this, do you see this, you guys? The seal of harmonic order. So there's a huge reason. Oh my God, and this is card number 13. And what day is it today, you guys? Friday the 13th. So this is harmony, this is cooperation, this is dynamic interaction. So it's of a higher spiritual consciousness in nature. It's divine. It was divinely written. It was divinely orchestrated. There's no like, oh, maybe I manifested this, or oh, maybe this is just by chance. No, this was divinely orchestrated. There is a reason, because it was written. It was written before you came here, and you signed the contract before you came here. Okay, we have full family connection, but underneath that we also have the effort card, and I don't want to forget about this before I move on to the next cards. So this is also number 13. I kid you not. This has a lot to do with you making the effort towards your family connections with your soul family. So if you've been sitting there waiting and perhaps you haven't met as many soul family members or your soul tribe as you wish you had, or you're just like, I don't know, you're feeling like there's a piece missing, they're wanting you to make the effort as well. Have you really put yourself out there? Have you really tried to connect with other human beings, ET beings, starseeds? Have you made that effort? Have you also made the effort to talk with your family about the experiences that they had had growing up, or that they had had throughout their life? Have you made that conscious effort? Have you physically asked them about it? There's the train again, sign from spirit. Have you physically asked them about it? If not, it's advising you do so. Okay. And right below Seal of Harmonic Order, we have Gate of Returning. The Gate of Returning card. This is entrance. This is death and rebirth. And this is your rite of passage. You're entering this whole new phase. This whole new phase. And the reason that you need your soul family and your soul tribe right now is because this is like a huge entranceway that we're going into. Pleiadian lineup is no joke. It's not something to be taken lightly, right? We just came out of that huge 11/11 portal. That was not something to be taken lightly, was it? I'm sure a lot of you had some pretty intense experiences on that day, even if you weren't really expecting to. I think it took a lot of you by surprise. It certainly took me by surprise. There was a lot that I came into realization with about our actual genetic lineage of all of us. And with a friend, we channeled it, both of us. And it's life-changing. So these are not days that you can just, take lightly and think that nothing's going to happen. Because if you think that, I promise you, Spirit will definitely surprise you. We have your life as a canvas up here. This is artist, manifestation, creative accountability. There's so much that your guides and your beings of light are wanting you to create while you're here on this planet. And if you haven't been doing so, they're really urging you to do so. They're also letting you know, like, this is your life. You're free to paint your canvas however the frick you want. Like, it's up to you. You are the artist of your life. You are the manifester of your life. You are the creator of your life, right? No matter how many things are written, things are divinely written. Yes, things will happen, but it's still up to free will, right? It's still up to you. And because you agreed upon it before you came here, you still have the ability to tweak certain things. So your life is a canvas. We have super soldier. It says you have been in the super soldier program and spent time in space. This is like really confirming, like, your soul has been in space. Your soul probably fought off a lot of evil. It probably fought off a lot of darker energies, a lot of like lower alien agendas. You've literally done this. You're also part of the galactic program. It's saying you're serving in the galactic space program. And because these are both next to each other, it's literally confirming this. So if you've ever had a thought, maybe you've had a dream and maybe you went up into space and you were fighting bad guys or you were saving people. It wasn't just a dream. They always say our dreams are not real, but that in itself is just a program. To have the awareness and the conscious ability to know that this 3D illusion, that of which matter makes up 0.1% of the 99% of that of which we see, feel, experience, taste, touch, sound, all of it. To know and to like actually believe that this is real, this tangible reality is real, is nothing but a farce. It's an illusion. Your dreams are actually what is real, because those coincide in the higher dimensional realms. Where are we now? We're in the third dimensional realm. We're in the 3D realm. This is the most low dense realm that you can probably put alien species on. So it's quite a miracle that we're all here, honestly. We have dance. Do something to shift your vibration. And I think when you move your sacred temple, your body, you're coming into this frequency of the higher dimensions. That's why it feels so good, right? That is where you come from. So moving your body, getting in the flow of the universe, dancing, raising your vibration, doing things that you love to do will be highly important during this, because like I said, it gets you into the same frequency of the universe. And therefore, you're also able to download so much more information, so many more codes, so many more aha moments, so much more awareness. We have the new Earth. So you guys, this Super Soldier Galactic program, it's bringing about, wow, we have everything here. So it's bringing about a new Earth. This is what we're creating here. It's literally the dance of new Earth. I think that's what I'm going to title this, because this is what we're going into. We're going into a new Earth. It's happening. Keep holding that vision, right? Because the vision, the daydream, the imagination, and the dream in and of itself is what's actually real. If you're not building your own castles in your dream, if you're not building your own castles in your imagination, in your dream, where are you expecting to go when you pass? Like, it's all up to you, because you are the one building that canvas. You're the one painting that canvas. But new Earth is coming, and this is just a reiteration. Like, the reason that new Earth is coming is because you've done so much work, not just here on the 3D realm, but higher dimensionally, galactically. We also have the Seiza Mintaka right next to the Mintakan card. I didn't even notice this till just now. So Orion coming through very, very strong here. So this isn't just a Pleiadian influence. I really understand that the Pleiadians, they work with all higher terrestrials. It isn't just them. They really, you know, their energy is just, there's a reason why so many humans carry the Pleiadian origin. It's because it's one of the highest ones. It's one of, not that it's better, just that it's more common. So their light really infiltrates through all these other star systems, because their light is of new Earth. Their light is of peace. Their light is of, like, Mintaka. Mintaka, if you look at Mintaka, what does Mintaka even represent? If you look at the story of Manataka, what does that represent? That's the cosmic reflector. That's the cosmic reflector here on Earth. Everyone coming together in peace, of all different colors, of all different nations, of all different opinions, coming together, holding hands. The rainbow ring, the rainbow woman, the rainbow consciousness, the prophecy of the rainbow that the Indians predicted. The rainbow prophecy, right? That's Mintaka. Mintaka are the holders of peace, of purity, of unity consciousness. You know, Seiza Mintaka, here it's saying, seeing potential, bringing the unconscious to light. Okay, so maybe you weren't consciously aware of being this warrior in the higher realms. Maybe you go to bed at night and you've gotten a full night of sleep, and you wake up still dramatically drained and exhausted and weak. And it's like, dude, you're not just going to sleep. Like, you're literally fighting. You're fighting. You're constantly working. You're constantly doing it. It's not just something like you're not getting enough sleep. It's because you're doing so much work in your sleep. So it's shedding the light and the awareness on this. You're also going to be seeing so much more potential within every aspect, not only of your life, but of the world in and of itself, the earth in and of itself. How do you expect to change a world when potential isn't even looked at? Potential isn't even thought of. Potential isn't even something that you think about. How do you expect to change a world when that isn't even something that you consider? So of course, starseeds, like, that's what we're here to do. We're here to save Mother Earth. That is the whole point of it. So you're seeing the potentialities not only in you, yourself, your soul, the reason why you're here. You're seeing the potentials in every aspect of every fractal, of every potentiality that could be, every timeline that could exist, every higher timeline that we could actually go into and be a part of. So it's not something that you're overlooking at this time. This is something that you're really diving in deep into and shedding light on. You're going to shed light on so much stuff, and it's going to make a lot of people really uncomfortable because they don't like change. They don't like to have these darker things brought to light. So you're probably going to make a lot of people uncomfortable, but that's okay. I mean, that's what you're here to do. You're here to trigger people. You're here to make them aware of everything that's been going on that's corrupt, that we're shedding light on and bringing it into higher consciousness and raising the frequency of, because that's literally what we're doing. Then we have the Messenger card. And we also have Sirian energy here. This is the Sirius card. Sirius energy, bringing harmony and balance. And then we have the Seal of Harmonic Order. This is what we're here to do. We are the harmonic order. We are here to bring balance to everything. We are here to say no to what doesn't serve and to bring balance to everything. Harmony and balance. And this is also like a huge Sirian influence. Then we have the Star Mother. How can you mother yourself more? I've been getting so many messages about Mother Mary. It's been for a couple of years now. But you guys are this like mother of the stars, this nurturing energy, and it's asking you, how can you mother yourself more? I feel like they understand that you've done so much work here as soldiers for other beings and other people, but now it's time to bring it back to yourself too. It's bringing that balance. It's not just you and it's not just them. It's the balance of the two. It's the balance of the two. And how are you going to go about doing this? Remember, they want you to make the effort to move your body. That we got that in the last reading. We have the dance card here right next to the Star Mother. So yeah, they want you to raise your vibration. This is bringing it back to you now. You need to get recuperated. You need to raise your vibration again in order to be able to channel all this stuff and in order to be able to enter this portal even. Get your vibration in check, okay? So you could do this by balancing your chakras, taking a nice long shower, cleansing your aura, lighting candles, lighting sage, Palo Santo, doing things that make you laugh, that just raise you up into a higher frequency. And moving your temple, it actually gets rid of a lot of lower density and it helps you cleanse. So it helps you celebrate who you are. We need to bring it back to us and celebrate who we are. This is the message from the Messenger card. We also have all paths lead home. Okay, so this is giving you the confidence in knowing, because a lot of you doubt this. A lot of you think, oh, well, if I were to do things this way, it would have changed this outcome. But honestly, if you would have done it a completely opposite way, it would have still gotten you back home. So this isn't necessarily true. This is also your inner authority. This is trusting your intuition and turning your gaze within. And a lot of you haven't been doing this. So it's going to be really, really, really important, you guys, during this Pleiadian lineup, to turn your gaze within. To bring it back to you. To trust your intuition, to allow the channelings to flow. I would really advise you guys to sit with a pen and paper. And I know I say this a lot, but I'm telling you. This is how star seeds ground higher dimensional consciousness, higher dimensional channelings, higher dimensional messages. This is how we piece together puzzles. This is how we help one another bring about new earth. And the understanding of ourselves and the understanding of our intuition and what we receive and combining it. It's like we're all pieces of the puzzle, right? But no matter what you decide to do, it's going to lead you back home. So don't think that you're doing something wrong, or don't think that like if you make one choice, like the wrong choices, it's going to lead you astray. It may temporarily, but your guides, they're going to make sure you get back on track, right? And it all takes you back to the same spot down in which you came from. So, right? It's like the Ouroboros, constantly going right back to where you came from. Starseed in the reverse. What lights you up? You need to go within. That's why this is here. You need to go within. Turn your gaze within. Find out what lights you up. What raises your frequency. What shifts your vibration. Find out what you're passionate about. This is really important for the star seeds, because the more higher vibe that you can... This is how I'm going to explain it in simple terms. If you're dwelling at a low vibration 99% of the time, how much help are you going to be here on the planet when we're trying to get our planet raised up in vibration? You can't even do it yourself. Hear the train going? Again, sign from spirit. So they're really asking you to go within and find what makes you happy. No matter how stupid, silly, funny, goofy, how not good you think you are at it, just do it. If it's something that brings you light and passion, just frickin' do it. You don't have to be public about it. I mean, the more you are, it helps inspire others. That's a good thing. That's shining your light out. we'll get there, right? But the first step is finding out what makes you happy. And then whatever makes you happy, do more of that, especially during this Pleiadian lineup. We have the Great Severing in the reverse. This is Mars energy. So Mars has been coming in a lot. I know many goddess friends who have channeled Mars. I saw light language having to do with Mars. I also saw some of my friends go to Sedona, and Sedona holds that Mars energy. This is anger, this is conflict, but it's softening to love. So it's interesting because I feel like if you wanted to channel Mars energy during this portal, it might actually be a good idea to jump into that, because we're transitioning planetary consciousness. So, and I did get this in one of my past readings, that we're evolving beyond the star system consciousnesses, and we're evolving beyond the planets that we have ridiculed or thought as lower density or lower consciousness. And we're bringing it all in. We're channeling even these planets that aren't known of that well, or maybe that were ridiculed or distorted, or we were told that they were bad per se. But we're able to channel these planets now, and these planets have stories to tell us. They have light language and codes to tell us. So it's something they don't want you to overlook. If there's a planet that you've been drawn to that people say is bad, they're still telling you to channel it. It doesn't mean it's bad. That's just their perception. And the more we can get over those perceptions, the faster we can evolve, right? The more we can evolve. Yeah, the more we can awaken to source, because the source perspective is understanding that everything is connected, everything is all one. We are all one, whether it's grass, whether it's the sky, whether it's clouds, whether it's planets, whether it's stars, whether it's people, whether it's animals, whether it's insects. It's all one. It's just like source consciousness. That is the understanding of all, of unity, of oneness. This is also getting your soul confidence back. This is reassurance, and this is the source essence. So the more that you can channel source, which is a message I've been getting a lot actually, the more that you can connect back to source and channel source, the more confidence you'll have, the more validation you'll have in yourself, because you understand your truth. Truth of knowing that you're from source, and how could one not love another when source is all unconditional love, all encompassing love. Right? And all is one, all is unity. Did you see the light get really bright in here as the sun just came out? Get it, the sun? And we have golden potentiator right below that as the sun came out. And this is quickening, right? This is exponential. This is consciousness expansion. This is the quickening of time. This is the understanding that, like, pretty soon we won't even have time. We won't have the strategic strictness on time. We'll just know that it just flows in accordance to the universe, and it's not something that we have to put a label on or monitor throughout the day. Like, how silly is that, right? In order for us to understand it, can't we like evolve our consciousness higher than that? I mean, our ancestors did, and they were way before our time. Or is that the time that we're going into? Is that the Lemuria that we're going back into? We have the Lemurian card. This is creating heaven on earth. It's happening, right? It's happening. We have it happening twice here. It's happening. It's happening. New earth is happening, whether people want to believe it or not. Lemuria is happening, whether they want to believe it or not, because Lemuria literally is new earth. Lemuria was the beginning. Remember, I am the beginning that starts at the end. I am the Alpha. I am the Omega, the Ouroboros, right? Creating heaven on earth. It is happening. And we're jumping into this, but a lot of people aren't ready to, which is why this is in the reverse. A lot of people are uncomfortable with the shift of higher dimensional frequency, but, you know, our avatars, they're getting used to it, and that's what we're going into. This is also Andromedan energy, and the beginning that starts at the end. Wasn't this the end of this card? And we have the beginning here with Andromeda, ending with Andromeda, and aren't we supposed to be going into Andromeda from our Milky Way? Our Milky Way, in I don't know how many years, it's like, it's still a lot, but our Milky Way is transitioning into Andromeda. This is our future. This is what we're going into, M31. So we do have Andromeda energy. I am the beginning that starts at the end. This is adventure also. This is also saying yes to change. Okay, so a lot of people, like I said, again, are uncomfortable with change. They're uncomfortable with shifting into higher dimensional consciousness, into higher dimensional frequency. But this is what we're going into. This is what is happening on the planet. That's why the quickening is happening. That's why all this consciousness is being brought to light. That's why we're seeing all the corruption in our world right now during 2020 clear seeing, clear knowing, 2020 vision, right? Because everything that was ever corrupt is being shown by the light in order for us to transmute it, in order for it to change and to shift into a higher vibration. So say yes to change, because the more you avoid it, the more uncomfortable you'll be, because everything is always changing. Everything is always evolving and changing. We're getting a lot of influence from Lyra as well. So the Lyran Stargate, we have ancestry, we have courage, we have wisdom, we have empathy. So connecting with our ancestors, and we had this card right next to Lemuria. If you can channel in Lemuria and also trusting in source, trusting in the beginning, if you just have that trust and set that intention, you will come across realizations that of which you were taught the opposite of. And you will then have a full understanding as to why things didn't make sense, because they were taught the wrong way. They were distorted. They were manipulated. They weren't taught in the right way because they don't want you to know the truth, right? But when you are of a higher consciousness and you have the ability to tap into that and connect with source, not everyone has that. You know, like a lot of people do, but some people aren't there yet, which is okay. But it's asking you to connect back to source. You will gain full knowledge and piece the puzzles together because you're connecting with the truth of the ancestry, not the distortion of the programming that was taught in school, in your history books about the ancestry. Because that is his story, that of which is not even true. You're really going to gain courage and wisdom to speak your truth, to stand up. There's also a completion happening here. We have the 10-10 portal here as well. We have 64 and 46, 10-10, 10-10. Completion, a portal. Lyran energy. This is also having a lot of empathy for yourself and others. Then we have the Temple of Centering. This is centering your energy, getting grounded, right? And this is towards the end of the reading, right? So this is showing you, hey, this is what's happening towards the end of this portal closing up. This is what we'll want you to focus on. This is going to be solitude. This is going to be seclusion, grounding, and knowing that you belong. And a lot of you might just have that realization already. And if you don't, you will by the end of this portal. But they're asking you to get grounded towards the end of this and really take time to be in quiet, to seclude yourself, and to ground your energy. These cards also have activations that coincide with them. I'll leave Wizard as Nun's channel below so you can go and check it out. But these cards have DNA activation videos that you can watch. They're just a couple minutes long that coincide with these cards, and I highly recommend that you guys do that. We have the Seal of Venus in the reverse. So this is 14, which is 5, which means change. And this is elemental magic. This is also self-love and protection. A lot of you aren't believing that you're protected, but you are. A lot of you aren't having self-love enough, but you're going into this. This is a change of self-love. And this is also elemental magic. So the elementals are like the fairies, the dragons, the elves, right? The mermaids, the mythical creatures. Well, why do you think they exist in the first place? Why were they ever a story, right? Because every story could possibly exist. Every timeline could possibly exist. To discount one thing is to discount your whole entire existence. And we know not to do that, right? This is also the elements of earth, air, fire, water, gas, right? All of the elements. And this is also having to do with Venus, so channeling the planet Venus as well, okay? And then to end up, to complete the reading, we have the adenine and thymine. Adenine and thymine, or thymine, which is, it's showing 2 here. This is a DNA activation. This is DNA. These are parts of your DNA. This has to do with duality, contrast, trust, and balance. So because we exist on this third dimensional reality. There is duality. There's good and bad. There's black and white. There's up and down, right? Two. One or the other. But we're rising above the contrast. The contrast of which the light shining on the shadow, right? And we're learning to balance out these energies, to transmute these energies, and to trust beyond duality. Because we know higher dimensionally that duality only exists here, and we chose to experience it here. But the golden potentiator is the quickening of time, the knowing that we're going into new earth, and that is what we're bringing about.
Hi guys, I created a Patreon. It's patreon.com/𝐓𝐀𝐊𝐄. I have 4 tiers and they're all pretty awesome. I put a lot of thought and care into this, and I already have videos produced, edited, uploaded, made for these memberships. So if this is something that you're interested in supporting me with and equally receiving amazing content and exclusive content, definitely check it out. I love you guys so much. I'm excited. Bye.
So this does complete the reading. Thank you guys so much for liking, for commenting, for subscribing. Please hit that bell so you don't miss any more uploads. And if you would like a Starseed Origins reading with me, or are interested in any readings or healings, my link will be in the description box below under my Etsy. I love you all so incredibly much, and until next time, I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.